Welcome back to the Anfield Exchange, and today we're talking about the Fenway Sports Group. That's right, FSG. Are you in or are you out? Well, I'm going to give you my verdict on it at the end of this video. I'm going to run through a few of the highs and a few of the lows. You're probably going to see my viewpoint on it as I'm discussing these things, but we'll reveal all at the end of the video. Get your thoughts in the comments. Let me know how you feel about FSG, because I know it's torn across the fan base. I'll say no more. Let's get straight into it. Starting off, first 7, so they're approaching the 15th year as owners of this club. I think if you break it down into two halves, the first half of the ownership, we won one trophy. It was a Carabao Cup. Kenny Dalglish won us that one. And it probably, it wasn't good enough on paper for owners, for the club. But we were in a different time back then. We were in a completely different place to where we are now. And Liverpool weren't winning trophies every year. So I'll just put that out there. That was back in about 2012, I think it was. Some of the laws, we tried to increase tickets to £77 about 7 or 8 years ago. Uproar, absolute uproar, and rightly so. It was a mistake on their end. Look, what we've got to remember is these guys, these owners, they're not fans of our football clubs. They are businessmen, and that was a business move, which obviously got the fans' backs up. I'm not defending that. It was the wrong thing. I think they know it was the wrong thing. That was law number 1. Law number 2, eagerness to join the Super League. I don't know what that was all about. We should have never done that. They came out, they did an apology video, and quickly backtracked once they saw that fans weren't on side of it. Again, another business move that was more recent. That was about 2-3 years ago, was it? So that was a more recent one. So look, they have got mistakes in them. Everybody makes mistakes. They are 2 of the mistakes that they have made in recent years. I'm going to say it now. I'm FSG in for now. The reasons for, look, when FSG took over from Hicks and Gillette, we were on the verge of administration, and FSG came in, they put in money in, and they saved us from going into administration. That, for me, alone, is big enough to have them there. That doesn't make up for 15 years. That's a good start, a good base to start the ownership on. If we look at Liverpool now, where we're at, in consideration to where we were when they took over, we're in a much healthier situation. We're playing consistently. By last season, we're playing consistently in the Champions League. Financially, we're better off. We've got an increased capacity in the stadium. We got a new training ground. The backroom model with Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes, we've got that sporting director model, which I think is essential as well. And we've won trophies recently as well. So, and a lot of them against probably one of the strongest Premier League teams since the Premier League started in Man City. So there's a lot of reasons for me why FSG are doing a good job now as opposed to the first 7 years. And let's not forget, when they arrived, Roy Hodgson was manager. We had players like Paul Konchesky, Stuart Downing, Christian Poulsen, Milan Jovanovic. We were in a completely different place to where we are now. Credit has to go for FSG on that one, I would say. They've brought in a world-class manager in Jurgen. They always back Jurgen. I know it's, as fans, it can be frustrating when we're not making the signings we want to be making, but we've always backed Jurgen in the transfer market. We've spent big on Alisson, spent big on Van Dijk. We brought in Salah, Mane. Do you know what I mean? We have spent a lot of money in in the Jurgen Klopp era. Not so much in the Slot era, but I think we're going to see that in this summer. I think we're in for an exciting summer, if I'm honest, in terms of transfers. While they have backed Jurgen and they have put money into the club, I think it's clear that the priority has always been the Boston Red Sox. That's where the priorities lie. That's where their money's going to go first and foremost. But they have got enough of it, and while they're still investing in the club is improving, and like I say, they're very shrewd with their appointments. I thought the appointment of bringing Jurgen Klopp in was a masterstroke, because he had history with Dortmund of taking a club from mid-table, taking them back to the top of the table, and bringing in players, low transfer fees, turn them into world beaters, and that's exactly what he did with Liverpool. So yeah, I thought the decision to bring Jurgen Klopp in was a very, very good decision from FSG. And look, no owners are perfect. No owners are perfect. But look at Man United, the Glazers, Ineos, whoever's running that club. FSG are not a patch on that. FSG are not a patch on Ineos and the Glazers. I think we get lost a little bit in terms of signings, and we think that's all that ownership is. Man United spend a lot of money on signings, but they've run that club into the ground, and they've always spent a lot on signings. We haven't. We are a well-run club at the minute, whereas Man United aren't. But Man United are outspending on transfers versus Liverpool. How can that be? It can only be when your club is not running the way it should be running. And look, Man United is currently sort of 15th in the Premier League. We're top of the league by 7 points, and we spent no money for 2 or 3 transfer windows, bar 10 million for Chiesa. Does that not tell you that this club is a well-run club? And look, maybe it's a generation thing. Maybe it's the people that weren't around for Hicks and Gillette. Maybe it's that they don't understand where we've come from to where we are now, and all they know is that all they know is a recent history of the Jurgen Klopp era where we've won, and now we're seeing us not spend, and they're thinking, oh no, we're not going to stay in that position. Well, the likelihood is we're probably not, and no team does this. You go through phases. Man United did it, Arsenal did it when they were challenging each other. Man City done it, Liverpool done it. Teams go through phases of winning, and I don't think ours is at an end yet, because I think we've got a fantastic manager. We're a brilliantly run club, one of the better run clubs amongst the Premiership. I'd say us and Brighton are probably the two that are up there. So again, I think credit has to go to FSG for that. Maybe it's not a generation thing. Maybe it's just a social media thing. I see a lot of posts FSG out when we don't bring Isaac in the transfer window, the January transfer window. We're never going to bring Isaac in January. We may not even bring him in the summer. But if we don't bring him in, we will bring someone else in. And to expect Isaac to leave Newcastle in the middle of a Premier League campaign, to expect Newcastle to accept an offer in the middle of a Premier League campaign, and to expect Isaac to come into Liverpool and just hit the ground running like he has been at Newcastle in the middle of a Premier League campaign, those variables don't add up. So it doesn't make sense to do that deal in January. It potentially could be something we look at in the summer. But again, FSG have said, and Arne Slot has said, we're looking at signings for the summer. So they are back in the club in the summer. And I don't think you can argue with the position we're in. We don't really need any new signings in the January just gone. We've got a strong squad. We're top of the league. We'll have to see how it pans out towards the end of the season, if we can maintain the run in the Premier League and the run in the Champions League, if we've got the legs to go in those competitions. But yeah, like I say, I'm very much FSG in for now. They've not done anything to lose my trust. I wouldn't say they've made mistakes, yes, but all in all, I think they've done more good than they have bad. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the video. Let me know your opinions on FSG. I'll see you on the next one.